there are some contents in this video, this talk video, that may make some of you want to commit suicide. No doubt it will make some of you think seriously of committing suicide, because you will have to think seriously about your life and the things that you've done up until this point of you hearing all the contents of this talk video. I want to encourage you, the ones of the foolish nation who have done all these foolish things because you didn't know any better, to not commit suicide. You can always ask for forgiveness. But if you do know better and you're doing these things anyway that are wrong because you are one of those people who only sees, who only believes, who only hears what you want to, I don't know what to tell you. When the truth finally does sink in, and it will weigh on you, on your minds, until it sinks in into your heart of hearts, into your mind of minds, that you were indeed wrong. Again, I say though, don't commit suicide. This is going to get deep. And sometimes the truth, even though it is something that will set you free, it is also a hard pill to swallow. Now, I'm going to start this with who many people refer to as cops, C-O-P-S. I'm going to go through this. Let's see, it's 1:38 now. I'm going to breeze through this, try to get it done within an hour. To label yourselves or let other people refer to you as cops, that is the wrong label to have, to be proud of being called. Cops, in my book, and if you really think about it, you'll see this too. You have these programs called cops and such. Look at the definition, the people's definition of the word cops. Some call law enforcement, call police officers cops because of the dirty things they do, like stealing drug money, stealing drugs from the drug scenes after you bust the dealers, or stealing bank robbery money. Whatever it is that you're stealing, you're called dirty cops. Why? Because you copped that. You copped the drugs. You copped the drug money. You copped the bank robbery money, or whatever it is or was that did not belong to you. Some of you cop drugs and plant it on other people. Dirty cops. I would rather call law enforcement individuals police officers. If you want to call yourselves cops, fine. If the shoe fits, wear it. I choose to not do that. I have a problem with calling someone, prejudging, pre-labeling someone that way. It's like every white person I see is not a racist or a bigot or dirty or does dirty things. Just like every black person I see is not into crime. So I can't just look at them one way. That's prejudging. It's prejudging. I look at law enforcement as those who are to protect or who should protect and serve the citizens that it in different vicinities or in the vicinity where they work, patrol over. Respectfully and not as being mean just because you have that position of power. Anything that's dirty like that, to where you shoot to kill or do something else that will take someone's life, that's what I consider dirty. That's what I consider there's something wrong here. Either you are a racist, a bigot, a fool with a gun. You have some underlying issues. When you do stuff like that and you rob people and you're supposed to be the law, but you take drug money and drugs and do what you want to do with it, yet you lock these other people up or put them in a position to where they get a bunch of time. What does that say about you? What should you be getting? Just because you have a gun and a badge does not give you a license to kill unless you are in a position where your own life as a police officer is in danger. If it's not, and you know it's not, what are you doing? Putting your knee in the neck of someone for almost 10 minutes with your weight down on him. I've seen so many things on the internet, on YouTube, of dirty law enforcement people, cops, if you will, when you take someone else's life, this is the ultimate cop, okay? You just copped someone's life. You took it away. It wasn't yours to take. Their life was not yours to take, but you put it in your hands. When a person does not have a gun or has not threatened you with any other weapon, why would you take their life? Racists, bigots, you were raised by someone with the mentality thinking that they are the chosen ones of the Most High, that you can do this, that you're whitey and it's all righty. These people raise their children with the little timeouts. I never, in all the days of my life, saw a white child getting a spanking. Never. I saw white children in stores having conniption fits. Children. I've seen some white teenagers who, when you look at them and the way they act in public, I was in a restaurant at this time when I saw this, and there was another occasion just out in public. I saw this with these teenagers. It was unbelievable the way they acted. They acted as if, I was thinking to myself, who, no, what raised these kids that they act like that? These are the same kinds of kids that when they don't get their way, they want to show the world how mad they are about it. I got something to prove here. I'm going to teach you about messing with me because I'm whitey and I'm righty. I'm one of the chosen people. Everybody else is beneath me. Oh, y'all don't want to play with us at school? Okay, we got something for you. Trench coat mafia is what they call themselves. 6 of them. Go to school, shoot up the place. And then what happens? It takes off like wildfire what they did. They got some attention. Not for long, but just long enough to where other kids who saw it in the media thought it was a cool thing to do to get attention. Children nowadays are not raised right by their parents. Children who once looked up to their parents with respect and admiration looked at their parents like and considered that their parents had it all together, that they were safe. These children, they believed they were safe and sound in their homes, that the parents had everything together, that everything was okay. But then you raise your children with these pagan holidays, your pagan holiday practices. You teach your children how to hate other races. You teach them how to be racist and bigots and the things you do, the way you live, your own lives. And children pick up everything like little tape recorders, like little miniature computers. They pick up everything. They never forget it. When children look at you and they see over the course of time that you don't have it together, that the world is a mess, that you believed in fictitious characters that are closely related to Jesus and his birth and his death and his resurrection, whom they have also not seen. It makes it hard for them to believe that they even exist. And you continue this charade of falseness every year. You continue lying to them. Talking about a tooth fairy, fairy godmother, all this junk. Kris Kringle, Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, flying reindeer, the North Pole, elves, and all this and that junk. You set in motion the wheels of confusion, and they're ever turning in these kids' minds. Because these wheels are going and they have no, there's no stopping point. There's no logic in the way they are going, in where they are going. If you understand what I'm saying, they are just, let me just say this. The wheels of life are turning in these kids' minds. And they're going every which way. Every which way. And they're confused. They don't know which way to go. They don't know which way. They don't know what to think. And what makes it so bad is that there is not even a driver. The only thing that's turning these wheels in these kids' minds is what they learned from you, which is not, it's not kosher. You need to put the truth into your lives. Teach your children the truth. Teach the children the truth. Otherwise, they're just on a course that's just barrel-assing out of control. A course that has nothing but confusion. They don't know which way to go. There's no set direction. There's no purpose. There's no ending to it because you keep doing it year after year after year. The wheels just keep on turning crazy. Nothing steering it at all. But your lies that go this way, that way, every which other way. It's inevitable that one day you will have a major wreck. The children look at this. They're confused by it, by the way parents live. Their lives have no direction. Their parents' lives have no direction. They insist on doing this dumb stuff every day. The world following the world, following the world. That's what they do. They look at the world. They look at all the other crazy ways the world is living with no set direction, no set goal to reach other than to live foolishly. It's like driving a car with no steering wheel, with no destination. other than to live like a fool. You are an accident waiting to happen that will lead to your destruction, to your children's destruction. When they look back through life and they look at the world, they look at you as parents. Why do you think children now, like the Bible predicted, have no respect for adults? Because we are the ones who they looked up to, who they depended on, who they thought were telling them the truth. They look at us and they look at, okay, well, we've got a roof over our heads. We got food to eat every day. You know, we go to the store and we get clothes and stuff. We go to school, you know, and we come home from school. Everything's okay. No, it's not okay. Children are always thinking, just like we should always be thinking. You know, we should not be celebrating these pagan holidays. We should be thinking they have never really seen a Santa Claus, a real Santa Claus. Not the Santa Claus that everybody thinks there is, or these children thought that there was this North Pole thing, Kris Kringle and all this and that junk. They've never really seen an Easter bunny or the Easter bunny. And we should be thinking that, you know, a rabbit does not lay eggs, especially colored eggs, let alone colored eggs. And the children are looking at you painting these eggs with these colorings. They are seeing all these different Santa Claus movies. People's dads and stuff dressed up as Santa Claus in these movies. And the children put all this stuff together. All this stuff is a lie. We never saw any real Santa Claus. We never saw any. All we saw was lies, was being lied to. All we saw was things that are not real. And you put this stuff around these sacred, that are supposed to be sacred times. The birth of Jesus. And it wasn't even on the 25th. But you put it around all these sacred times. His death and resurrection. You put the Easter bunny around this. That they never really saw either. Sure, they saw movies about a Jesus. They never saw the real Jesus. They never saw God. They never saw any angels. So when they grow up and they realize that people, all they do is lie all the time. And it's going nowhere. It's purposeless. They look at adults who tell them, and this does happen, well, no, you don't need to smoke. I'm smoking because I'm grown. When you get grown, you can smoke. You don't need to drink. I'm drinking because I'm grown. When you get grown, you can drink. They look at you smoking marijuana, shooting up or whatever. And they want to do the same thing. When you get grown, you can do this. And I better not catch you doing it. You police officers out there who have these shows on TV called Cops and all this and that. And then, there are good officers out there. And then you have the corrupt ones all over the internet. They have you plastered all over the internet. The dirty things that you do. And look at the message that you are sending to the youth. That if the law is going to be unlawful, we can't trust them either. They don't know who to trust now. They don't know which adults to trust. They don't know who a good law enforcement officer is. They don't know who the bad ones are. You send a mixed message. They don't know, basically, who to trust. And now you have people who run when they're stopped. And sometimes they don't even stop. So you go on these wild chases. Why? No doubt because sometimes they just don't know. They don't know if you're going to shoot them. These police with these big heads who were raised by racists, people who think that they're the chosen ones of the Most High. You shoot unarmed blacks, especially. And you kill them in other ways. Now, many in the black race are afraid of you. And it's not just in the black race. There are some whites, too, who are afraid of you because they don't know if you're decent or indecent as a police officer. The world is so screwed up backwards. Many people in it are committing suicide. All over the world, not just here in the United States. It's so backwards because of the lies that started with the father of lies, Satan, who slandered God in heaven. His lies seemed so much like the truth that a third of the angels were convinced that Satan was telling the truth. So they turned against the Most High. The Most High didn't like it. No doubt the other angels didn't like it. War broke out in heaven. Satan and his angels fought but did not prevail. They were kicked out of heaven, put out of heaven, fast, with lightning speed, to the vicinity of the earth. Satan knows he can't go back to his old position. The other angels know they lost their position in heaven too, as angels, the good angels that they once were. They can't go back. Listening to Satan. There's a reward, there's a price tag attached to the lies, to listening to the lies, to following the world. When Satan and his angels were put in the vicinity of the earth, the lies continued. They continued. and the evil influences began in the earth, in man. Evil. 2,000 years ago, in the book of Deuteronomy, it was said to God's chosen people who did not live up to their vows in the blood covenant to live doing the statutes, laws, and commands of the Most High. It was said to them by the Most High, I will vex you with a foolish nation, void of understanding. I will vex you with a foolish nation, not a people, void of understanding. He was not talking about the entire race of Caucasian people, of the Gentiles. He was talking about the ones who are like the supporters of a tyrant president who was in office. "2,000 years ago, he said they were a foolish nation. And he said it because they were the majority. There were more people in that nation who were foolish than there were people who were not foolish. And it's the proof is in the raised pudding. When you look at the last president who was in office, how he lied, how he pretty much sold out the country, how he treated people of, as quote unquote, as they say, color, how he treated reporters, how he treated the allies that we once had. I imagine we still have some. But everyone in the world was looking at this person. Some people in his own race called him a fool, an imbecile, an idiot, a moron, incompetent, the worst president in the history of presidents. 500,000 plus dead behind a deadly virus. He talked about women like they were pieces of meat. Told people of other countries living here, go back to your own crap hole countries. They wanted to keep him in office, and many of them still support him because they think that they are the chosen ones of the Most High. Yes, it all comes back to that. But they are not. Some of them don't even know that some of their ancestors took books out of the Bible, hiding the true identity, or that had the true identity of God's chosen people, of the black race in them. Some of them don't even know that some of their ancestors put false images in the Bible depicting Caucasians to be the main biblical characters in the Bible, such as Jesus, Moses, David, Abraham, Noah, Mary, Joseph, Samson, all white people. And the movies that they came out with later depicting this same thing, because mostly white people were in them as biblical characters. See, the lie continues. Some white people know the truth. They don't want to believe it. They don't want to accept it. They don't like it. Some white people turn their ears away. They don't want to investigate it to see what the truth really is. And some hate it that people of the black race are God's chosen people. Some white people who think that they are the chosen ones look at this one verse that reads, above all people on the face of the earth, I have chosen you to be a special people unto me. They take that to mean that God chose that they are above all other people on the face of the earth. That's not what that meant. In other words, the Most High was saying, out of all people on the earth, I chose you to be a special people unto me, because they were a religious people. Abraham. God loved Abraham, so much so that he made a covenant with Abraham and told him, out of your seed shall come those who will bless all the nations of the earth. He didn't say all of us would do it out of the seed of Abraham. Just as all white people are not foolish, all the descendants in the lineage of Abraham will not be those who bless the nations. We are the chosen ones of the Most High. Like it, love it, hate it, gossip about it, close your ears to it, close your eyes to it, don't investigate it, whatever. It's not going to change what it is, and that's the truth. To the blacks who don't know that you are the chosen ones, it's time to return. It's time to learn. If you're uneducated, it's time to learn. It's time to better yourself. It's time to know the truth instead of sitting up drinking 40s and smoking dope and doing all these dumb things. That verse in the Bible in Deuteronomy, which said, I will vex you with the foolish nation. People of the white race who think they are the chosen ones of the Most High because of the lies, because of the things they have not yet investigated to know that they are not, or that will show them that they are not. They live with this every day. They live with it. They're like that car that has no steering wheel because they're hearing different things. They don't know which way to go. And when they pray to the Most High and He does not answer their prayers, what's the first thing when they don't get their way that they want to do? Suicide. Popping pills. Doing this. I just watched on YouTube where this guy got sentenced to life in prison. He had some poison in his pocket. I don't know where he got it from, but he took it right there in the courtroom and died in the courtroom, a white man. See, when you live a certain way and you think a certain thing, and it turns out that it's not that way. You're not getting your way. You think that you're the chosen ones of the Most High, and when your prayers aren't answered or you don't get your way, you want to just go off. And some of you police officers who are taking people's lives because you think that verse in Deuteronomy was talking to you about us being animals or a foolish nation. Well, I got news for you. News flash, news flash. God told us, his chosen people of the black race, I did not choose you because you were many in number. He said, in fact, you are the least in number of all other races on the face of this earth. So he was not talking about us when he said, he was not talking to you when he said, I will vex you with a foolish nation. No, he was talking to us about you. We were not even a nation. We were not even a nation. And everything else points to him talking about us. Our people were the ones on slave ships. Our people were the ones who were who were traded all over the place, scattered all over the world. Our people. Our people were the ones picking cotton and being mistreated, hung, whipped, children killed, women raped, our daughters, our sisters, our mothers, our nieces, nephews, everything. Well, not nephews, I take that back. But the women part, our mothers, our grandmothers, our sisters, our daughters, you did them bad. It's still going on today. The crooked police, the crooked judicial system, not all of them are crooked. Just like all white people ain't bad, ain't evil, are not animals. But the ones who are crooked, they don't even need to wear sheets anymore. It's all out in the open. Anytime you shoot unarmed black people, anytime you put them in chokeholds or put your knees in their necks, and they're telling you they can't breathe. I was watching something on the internet last night. All these police had this black man. He was already restrained. Then they were all around. They had a thing over his face, some kind of mask, and they were just kept holding down. The man, no doubt, couldn't breathe, and they were blocking the camera. They were all in front of him, on the side of him. And the man laid there and died. He couldn't breathe. He couldn't move because they were all around, all over this man. Like he was trying to get away or something. And he wasn't. He was already restrained. It was a murder right there. The people who commented on it could see it. They murdered him. And you had nurses and stuff. Probably, I guess this happened at the jail. It was like a snow job murder. Right there. That's why I say, boy, you black people better wake up. And there's one thing I want to say right now. And I want to do this so I won't run out of time on my recording. So I can get this all in here. I went to jail one time. I forget what it was about. It was something menial, like a traffic ticket or fines or something I hadn't paid. And, or it may have been behind a white female. Now that I think about it, I think it was. But anyways, when I went to you had to go to a certain spot of the jail to dress in. And I hope you black people are listening to this, because this may be one reason while you get shot when you get stopped. Just listen to what I'm saying. Instead of thinking you know so much. Listen and learn. Listen, when I went to this room, I had to undress, give them my clothes, and then they gave me a jumpsuit, orange jumpsuit. When I got out, was being processed out, they gave me the sheet of paper and said, well, look at it, make sure you got everything that you came in with. So I looked at this paper, and I noticed on the paper it said, are you affiliated with a gang? And they did ask me that when I first came in. And I told them, no, I'm not affiliated with a gang. I never have been, never will be. When I got the paper to check to see if I had everything that I came in with, they had it checked that it said gang member, gang affiliation on there. They had it checked. And I asked the guy, I said, who did this? I'm not affiliated with a gang. I said, I told the man when I came in here, I'm not affiliated with a gang. So I'm saying that to say this, black people, listen to me. Listen to me. When you give them your name, and you don't have to. If you're going to jail, well, yeah, you got to do it then. In any case, you need to check the records in the jails. Your dress in, dress out record. You need to check your record to see what they have on it outside of the charges that you were charged with. The miscellaneous stuff. Like, were you ever in a gang? Because the dirty person who did this put that on my record. I got to thinking about something. I'm like, why is it that black people are getting, this and that and this, getting shot and all this and that stuff? There are dirty people in the system. And what makes it so bad is that they don't act like that. They are like closet racists. They'll sit there and smile in your face, talk to you this and that, just like this one woman I saw on YouTube last night. She was in the jail, and they had her medicine. She had her medicine in her purse or whatever. And she told them, I have seizures and this and that. She said, can I please have my medicine so I won't go into a seizure tonight and die? I do not want to die in your jail. And she said, please, because if the other shift comes on, they're probably not going to give me my medicine. The dude, the officer promised her she would get her medicine. He was trying to get her into a room first, so he said. But as soon as they got her in the room, he forgot all about her. The woman they found her dead in that room the next day. The next day, they found her dead. These are the people we deal with. So you have to be careful when you get stopped. You need to check things out, actually, before you get stopped. Check your record out. Make sure they don't have you labeled as being in a gang, because a label can hurt your reputation. It can hurt you. It can get you killed. And you knew nothing about it. It's a shame that when some people in the white race did the things that they did, taking books out of the Bible that had the true identity of God's chosen people in it. That's one damnation, according to the book of Revelation. And putting things in the Bible that were not true, that's two damnations. The Bible in Revelation talks about liars, that they will have their part in the lake of fire. It talks about all the immoral people. The world is in a is in a mess. It's not funny. I'm chuckling because for the fact that it really is not funny. It's pitiful. We are in a pickle, boy, and it's just not good. You know, the Bible talks about the authorities, that it's good to have authority, and it is. I wrote a poem about, it was called Thank God for the Authorities. But it was about good authorities. It was about the good authorities. And in my poem, the moral of it really was, can you imagine the world without any authority in it at all? You think it's bad now? Oh, it'd really be messed up. But when you have authority in the world that are worse than the world it says it will protect and serve, then there is no authority. And when civilians go around and shoot police randomly, they're making a statement. And it's no worse than what police do randomly to the citizens who look up to it, like children who look up to their parents, who don't know what to expect. That's the way the citizens look up to law enforcement now, because of the bad cops, because of the bad things that the cops do, not the police officers, the cops. Cops don't even deserve the title police officers. And I want to tell you another thing about the rod of iron, people. The Bible was not talking about your gun. It was not talking about being over people with your gun. Being strict with over people, making them obey you with your gun, because the Bible also says that they will turn their swords into plowshares. And some of you don't use that method God said use, line upon line, precept upon precept. Here a little and there a little. Meaning, look at the different verses that seem to be similar to each other. You only take one verse and run with it. Oh, the rod of iron, that means a gun. Some of you police probably don't even know what a gun is made out of. You know, there are different metals, different irons. Boy, it's pitiful. Some of you police are like secretaries who get jobs who don't even know what they're doing. All because your skin is white. And they feel like, well, you look right in this position. You know, white is right. Whitey is righty. So you really don't have to know what you're doing. You know, just wing it. If you mess up, we got your back. We got your back. As a matter of fact, we're going to fix it to where if you do mess up, hey, it's okay. There's a clause in there that says it's okay. We got your back. You know, we got to look out for each other. That's right. We can't wear those white sheets no more. We got to do it this way. Now, getting back to the youth who have fallen by the wayside because they don't know what else to do. You see them in courtrooms on the TV, on TV. A lot of them, they talk about the black guys, the young black guys, and they're smiling, smirking at the camera, you know, trying to, you know, to throw up signs or looking at the victims' families, or the families of the victims, trying to be hard and all this and that. Okay. Listen, one thing everyone needs to realize here, kids like attention, just like the ones who thought it was cool that the other kids shot up the schools. They like attention. When they see a camera on them and they've never had that attention before, they think it's a cool thing. For one, they know that their friends on the outside are looking at them like, man, oh man, look what this fool did, man. Yeah. Okay, whatever. But that attention is short-lived. It's short-lived. There's nothing to brag about. Shooting someone, killing someone, that is nothing to brag about. If that's what you have to make yourself look like a big man, then you really never had a life at all. And I hope you parents are listening to this. You need to bring your children up in the way they should go. Because if you don't, life will bring them up in the way that they shouldn't go. No one is really going to care about your children more than you, the parent. If you don't care, if you're not there for your kids, or if you run your kids away from you, from doing the dumb things you do, from the things they see you do, like your pagan holidays, you're doing drugs, you're bringing different people into your house. If you're a woman, you're bringing different men in. If you're a man, you're bringing different women in. They're seeing all this stuff, all your arguments, all your drug dealings. You're getting drunk, beating them up because things aren't going your way. They're looking at all of these things. And a lot of times they run off because of you, because they can't deal with it anymore. Some children are brought up so backwards that when they can't get their way, they will kill their parents. I saw that on YouTube not so long. I heard just a short while ago. This boy and his friend, or maybe it was his girlfriend, he killed his grandmother. She only had like $50. He killed his grandmother to buy some pizza and some dope. He was on TV, on YouTube, in one of those courts. This is how you bring your kids up. No discipline whatsoever. You let them just do whatever they want to in this life because they're whitey and they're all righty. Society's going to treat them okay. Society will kick their stubborn, stupid asses. These kids go to court and they get this attention that they weren't getting at home. They think they're looking all this and that, all cool and everything because they're on TV trying to impress their friends. They know the friends are looking. The media will eat it up, especially if they're racist media. Look at the way he was smirking at the camera. Look at this. He showed no remorse. No remorse whatsoever. And you may have been on drugs. These people may be on drugs. But when the drugs wear off, when those doors keep slamming. I was incarcerated one time. And wow. It was like 2:00 at night. And there were bars. There wasn't doors, there were bars. And I heard what sounded like someone was crying. So I woke up. The noise stopped. Then I heard it again. And I realized that this was not a grown man, but a teenager. And I thought to myself, he's feeling it. He's seeing it, that he made a mistake. And I thought to myself, he now regrets. Now he's thinking about it. Now he's thinking about it. It's sinking in. Be careful who you hang out with. You don't know me. I don't know you. We don't know each other. But that's besides the point. When you hear voices of reasoning, when you hear things that are of good report, that have merit, that make sense to you, listen to those things. No matter where you hear them or read them, or no matter who you may overhear talking about something that's good, apply it to your life if it's good. It may be God talking to you through situations, circumstances, experiences, through other people. Some of you have had no guidance. You probably never had a father in your life or a mother, or maybe neither, or maybe neither, or maybe neither, or maybe neither, or maybe neither. You have to look out for you. 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 The best possible scenario for you. Stop following the world. The world can get you in trouble. You know, the trends of the world, the things the world does, that everybody in the world thinks is cool. Tattoos, the body piercings, all this and that. Doing their hair and with these weaves and glues and all this and that. I saw a woman had her earlobes were eaten off behind those earring things. I imagine there are people with tattoos who want to convert their lives to doing right. But now you're covered with tattoos. Who's going to take you serious? The only story you could say, the only way anyone would believe you, and it would have to be an ongoing story from you. I had to learn the hard way about getting tattoos because no one takes you serious. And it would be a message to other people, at least something to think about, for them to think about. Maybe I should make up my mind now. Because, let me really think about this. Do I really want to get these tattoos? What if I want to live right later? But then I got all these tattoos on me. That would be a good testimony. Yes, it would. I haven't seen it yet. So I guess the door is open for that one. If somebody wants to grab it and run with it, who's thinking along those lines, the lines of doing right. But just because the rest of the world doesn't mean that it's okay. Don't go against the grain of who you really are. To your own self, stay true or be true. If you've gotten off track, get your life back on track. And you people out there, you parents who have children who you know are in gangs, if you love your children, move. Get them away from there. Because chances are they're probably in too deep for you to stay there. They want to get out the gang because they'll probably get killed because of things they know. Just move. If you love your children that much, move. Get your children out of danger. Get them out of danger. You can say, well, your house is all pretty. What's your house and your furniture and this and that going to mean to you when your children are dead or when your child is dead? Then you'll be thinking, you have 20/20 vision then. I should have just moved and told my child, I'm not moving anymore. I'm doing this because I love you. And if you love me, you won't get in that situation anymore. And stay away from those people. Move, get your son, your daughter a new phone, and tell them don't call those people. Stay away from them. I don't care who it is. Sometimes you have to be tough on your children. I'm gonna not go into too much of this. There are magazines called Busted. I've seen teenagers in those magazines, white teenagers mainly. They'll get busted, and they're smiling. They're acting like it's a fun thing to be in the magazine busted. They're only like $1 or whatever. But I'm like, why would do these kids want that much attention? That they know as soon as that camera takes their picture, won't be long after that it's going to be in this magazine called Busted. And I know children like attention, especially from their friends. You know, they think it's cute or it's a funny, cool, cute thing to do to be in the magazine. His friends say, oh, you crazy. Yeah, you know what? And you're building up a reputation for yourself. It sure is funny that when a person is sentenced for something they did, all of it seems like they're remorseful. Now, I'm not saying that some of them aren't. But where was your thinking before you did this? You know what? You weren't thinking at all. You were influenced by the devil, whether you want to believe he exists or not. You were influenced. The worst thing you could do, I'm going to tell you where Satan gets you at your weakest. And he doesn't want you to believe that he exists. He is probably irks you to the core when you hear Satan or God or Jesus or whatever. It irks you. I'm going to tell you what that irking is, okay? The mind is a playground. The idle mind is a playground for the devil. And what is irking you when a person talks to you about God or doing what's right, this, that, or about your mistakes, what's irking you is the truth, which Satan can't stand, nor his angels. They cannot stand the truth. Satan and you cannot stand the truth. I'm going to show you. I'm going to prove it to you. When you think about doing good things, like quitting smoking or drinking or whatever, the Most High, his life force in you, becomes happy. When you're doing what's right, you get these happy feelings in you. I'm going to give you one illustration and I'm going to get off of this. One verse, just follow me. 1 Corinthians 6:19 says, what? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, or the breath of life, which is in you, which you have of God, and you are not your own. You do not belong to you. You belong to the Most High. You remember those commercials about the one angel on one shoulder and another one on a bad one on one shoulder, good one on the other? Yeah. So some of the things you think about doing bad, you're being influenced. The things you think about doing good, like quitting smoking, I'm gonna quit. And things just start to fall into place when you do. And you're happy, but when you do this, you have to get away from the triggers. People will tell you that. Get away from the people you used to hang around with. They may not understand it. They may say this, whatever. It's your life, not theirs. A real friend will tell you, you know what, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. And they'll help you. They're not going to call you a punk or a sissy or, go treat you any different or whatever. They'll be glad for you. They'll help you to quit doing what you're doing. Talk with you, whatever, The people who don't have your best interests at heart don't care about you. If you're with your parents and they're doing this stuff and that stuff, and you used to do it, and they know you used to do it, and they might ask you, well, you want a cigarette, son? Which is something, that's unethical to do that with your children. It's really unethical to do it around your children because it sends a wrong message, not just to your children, but everyone else around you. It influences them. Those are influences. I want to say this right now. I've had struggles with quitting smoking and drinking, and I know there's something in the Bible that says when you get the demons out of you and you don't put anything there, when you don't start studying immediately to put something into your mental faculties, good things, spiritual things, Satan will come back in and bring other demons with him, and you will really have a struggle. You'll be worse off than before. And fighting all those demons, I'll tell you what, when you're done and you live through it, hey, you don't have to explain. You don't care who believes you or not that you quit and quit for good. Oh, no, doesn't matter. Let me tell you something. There are things that have come true that I guess I was doubting before, things that I read in the Bible. But when it happens to you personally, what the Most High said, and you figure out, man, this is happening to me. This is serious stuff. I've learned some things. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Do right by everybody. Don't lie. Don't cheat. Don't steal. Don't kill. Do what's right and appreciate what you have. Be thankful. Be thankful for what you have. Be thankful for the voices of reasoning that you hear. May not be coming to you directly. God speaks. I said this before. And I'm talking like you've heard my stuff before. I don't know you from Eve or Adam, and you probably haven't heard anything. Maybe even just now hearing this. But God does speak to people through things, events, experiences, just happenings. And he's always trying to tell us something. We just need to listen. We need to, just like pay attention to things around us. Be more observant. Sometimes we miss out on a lot of things because we're not more observant. And sometimes it's too late. It's too late. We don't see God talking to us because we take everything for granted. There are warriors, there are messengers of the Most High. There are people carrying torches, candles. There are heroes and sheroes. There are acts. There are people who stand up against the evils in this world. People in law enforcement who stand up against crooked law enforcement people. There are people in the white race who stand up against people in the white race who are evil. I'll give you an example. When Trump was in office and he did all the dirty, evil things he did that I mentioned before, 74 million people still supported this man. 74 million. After he put children in cages, after he separated them from their families. After he talked about women like they were pieces of meat. After he talked about, quote, people of color, unquote, telling them to go back to their crap hole countries. After he talked about our allies. After he sold out the country and the whole world was watching. After he was rude to reporters, after he fired top people in his administration who was telling him what to do about this and that regarding this pandemic that has now killed over 500,000 people in the U.S. alone, 500,000 plus. The book of Deuteronomy 32:12. I will vex you with a foolish nation, not a people. When you look at what all Trump did and the foolish supporters who keep supporting him, other people are like looking at these supporters, the Trump supporters, thinking to themselves, and I was one of them, what's wrong with these people? And it kept bringing back to mind that verse in Deuteronomy 32:12. I will vex you with a foolish nation, void of understanding. Every time I thought about Trump supporters, after all the things he did, evil, and said evil, the way he acted, evil, toward other people. Like he was King Crap on Crap Island. The number one racist in the world. And everything was going his way. No matter what he did, he had supporters who were blind. No doubt racists and bigots and hillbillies. People void of understanding. Oh my God. Oh my God. You look at what they did at the Capitol and all the threats they've made since then. And Trump even threw them under the bus. There's like over 200 of them who have been arrested, who are now on YouTube or were on YouTube crying, saying they were tricked, but he has still many supporters. And I'm saying that to say this. The Bible, that verse in Deuteronomy, I will vex you with a foolish nation, void of understanding. I will vex you with a foolish nation, not a people. And a little bit further in the book of Deuteronomy, it says, void of understanding are they. If you're not a people, what's the next thing you are? You're animal-like. This was 2,000 years ago that this was written. And you have 74 million people still wanting to follow this foolish person? How much more foolish was the foolish nation then when you have 74 million now who still want to follow this person, who still support him? Not all of you. I know it's not all of you because some of you protested the murders of unarmed black men. Some of you have talked about Trump like the evil person he is. Some of you have called him Satan, the Antichrist, have talked about him on the news. Even news reporters, the newscasters sitting behind the thing on the news have talked about this person. And these people were all Caucasian, all white. So I know the Most High was not talking about every Caucasian person being foolish. That's not what he meant. It was just that there were more foolish than there were not foolish. Today, 74 million people, as I said before, still support this person. They still want him in office. So bad. For one reason, because he's white. For another reason, they think they're the chosen people and that Trump is the man. You know? But listen, you chosen people, listen. I'm just being sarcastic here. The Bible says that from out of Abraham's seed would come those who would bless the nations, not curse them. Ever since Columbus set foot in this land, there have been nothing but curses. The people with decency in them are the ones who have made this world a better place and still make it a better place to this day. That means people of all races. But the main people who God chose were of the black race, starting with Abraham, because he saw in Abraham a goodness that was above other races of people on this earth. He saw in Abraham a holiness that he liked to see. And he made a covenant with Abraham and told him, out of your seed shall come, or in your seed shall come, in your lineage, those who will bless all the nations of the earth. You see, God knows everything. He knows everything that would happen, that would take place. He knew who the best people for the job of blessing the nations would be. And so this is what is happening today. He told us through his son Jesus, go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, baptizing them with fire. It used to be baptize them with water, but now it's with fire. You can't baptize a person with literal fire. He was talking about, even if you have to be angry about it or get angry at the people, then you do what is necessary to get the message across. There are many people who are not happy with the way this world is run. That's why there are so many people committing suicide now. By the time the 7-year Great Tribulation is over, many people will have come to their senses. God knew Abraham. He studied Abraham. He knew his heart. So he chose him. That's how we were chosen. He didn't say all of us would bring nations, blessings to the nation, to all the nations of the earth. Just like he didn't mean, I believe, or it seems to me anyway, that he didn't mean that all the Gentiles or Caucasians were foolish. There was just so many of you. And if there's 74 million now who are foolish, like Trump or supporting Trump, how much more foolish and how many more were foolish back then? The Bible says that we are to come to the Jews first, the lost children of Israel, the lost sheep of Israel, and then the Gentiles. The Bible also says, whoever does right by the Most High is acceptable to him. Acceptable. But you have to listen to the people God chose, you Gentiles, who have the truth. And the reason why, one reason I believe, is because of the things that we've gone through that you know are true. At least we know they're true. So there is truth in what we are telling you, the truth that will set you free and can set other people free. When they look at how you live, when they can sense the things that you've gone through, when they know in your voice that you're telling the truth, they can feel it. They can sense it. They can see it. They can feel it in their bones that the experiences you had were real. You don't want to go through the things, the chastisement that the Most High can put you through. You don't. Everything he said is real. You do not want to find out the hard way how real it really is. The blessed is the man who trusts the Lord. When they look at the role model you are for the truth, the good police are good role models to the bad police. The good white people are good role models to the foolish white people. The good Jews, the Hebrew Israelite people are good role models to the lost Israelite people and to the learnable, teachable, childlike, sensible Gentiles. We have to stand up and do what's right. What's right. We have to show the children the truth, that someone does know the truth, that someone does understand how they feel, that someone is in their corner. They don't know which way to go. Like I said, it's like being in a vehicle that has no steering wheel. It's like being just being in it and having no destination. You're on a collision course to destruction. They don't know what else to do. Where there is no vision, the people perish. They do things that they don't want to do, and they act like they don't care because there's nothing else to go on. Many people are groaning. Many people, as I said in the beginning of this, are committing suicide because they don't know what else to do. They don't want to do those things. There are a lot of people that don't want to drink, smoke, do drugs, do all these crazy things, but they don't have anything else to do. They have nothing else to look up to. So we adults have to take a stand continuously. Share the truth. If you love the Most High, if you love your neighbors, your earthly neighbors, not just people of your race, not just people of your agenda, share the truth if you love the truth. Be a good role model. Share because you care. The Most High said, if I tell you to warn someone that they are going to die by the way they are living, because of how they're living, and you don't warn them, and that person dies, I will hold you personally responsible for their death. But if I tell you to warn someone that they are going to die, and you warn them, and that person dies because they didn't listen, that person may die, but you will not be responsible for that person's death. Now, I do what I do for two reasons. I do it for that reason, but not just solely for that reason. I do it because I care. Because I care. I share because I care. And if you care about your family, your children, your parents, your siblings, your neighbors, regardless of who they are, share. Tell people about this page, these talks. Add them to your page. There's no charge. There's no charge to listen to them. Share. You can write out, go to bulletin boards you know about, or whatever, or just leave little notes here and there for people to know. You may know someone in prison who has the internet, who has nothing but time on their hands. Share. You know someone in the hospital who's got the internet, or a nursing home, wherever, in a juvenile detention center. Share. There are many other talk videos on my page, on Facebook and on YouTube. Share. My name is Darryl Stidham, DarrylStidham. I'm coming to you because I care. And the Most High does not want to see you perish. Listen, God is trying to tell you something. In retrospect, I need to backtrack here to where around the 3,200 mark of this talk, I spoke about around the 32 minute mark of this talk. Some of you know what I'm talking about, some of you don't. It just means 32 minutes into this talk, I spoke about the white man believing, or the white people believing, that lie about they're the chosen ones of the Most High. But it's confusing to them, it should be anyway, that if they are the chosen ones of the Most High, the white race, why are there so many foolish ones, or so many people in the white race doing foolish things that totally says the opposite of them that they are not the chosen ones of the Most High. It has to be confusing to you to the point of, because you look at it this way. If you're the true children of the Most High, the chosen ones of the Most High, rather, why is it that you have done the most evil? How are you representing the Most High? Now, I know none of us are good, not completely good. But there are some people in this world who are better than others by the way they act. The Most High looks at the heart of people, not their skin color. He looks at how they are. It is an emphatic no that skin color has anything to do with anything. The Most High, when he came across Abraham, saw the inner beauty, the different kind of man that Abraham was. So he chose Abraham because Abraham was more of a godly person in the eyes of the Most High. So he chose Abraham. He loved Abraham so much that he made a covenant with Abraham. That his seed that in his seed the nations of the earth would be blessed in his lineage. In other words, the nations, all the nations of the earth will be blessed. When you think that you're the chosen ones of the Most High, and you see your race that has done so much dirt and has caused so many murders and so much mayhem, when you see their acts, when you think of them, and then you start hearing things that sound more truthful. When you think of history that seems to not be talking about your race being slaves and the things that another race has went through that seems to be pointing to them as being the chosen ones of the Most High. When you make a comparison of these things and you start hearing truths that make more sense than the lies that you've heard. In fact, truths that are exposing the lies. This is why I said in the beginning of my talk, and this is why I have to do this in retrospect to help you to understand, okay? Don't commit suicide after hearing this. Just do the right thing. It's that simple. We have a forgiving Creator who doesn't want to see anyone perish. The Most High told us to go ye therefore and teach all nations. That includes you. Because you know not what you do. Because some of your ancestors took books out of the Bible, hiding the true identity of God's chosen people. Your ancestors lied to the masses in more than one way to get their selfish ways. To this day, there are those in the white race and the black race and in other races who do not know the truth, who think that the white race are the chosen ones of the Most High. No. Is that why you refer to the other races as people of color? Is that why you think that you are above all the other races? Is that why you act the way you do? You see, it's time for the truth to come out. It's time for the lost children of Israel to be found. It's time for the light to shine on the darkness in this world. There are many people hungering and thirsting for the truth. Many people groaning for the way out. They have no leader. They have no vision. So they commit suicide. They are running around. The wheels are turning in their minds, but they don't know which way to go because the world is dragging them this way. The world is dragging them that way, all kinds of ways. They're just going around in circles, basically, following the world. No one knows what to believe, which is one reason why many in this world are on drugs, why many have committed suicide, why many people have gone crazy, and why many people just kill at the drop of a hat because they are confused from the lies. Let me tell you something. Satan, the Bible says, is the author of confusion. People go around acting like they're happy, they're content, all this and that. Even people with money, with everything they want, are not content. If they were, why do they commit suicide? They do it for the same reason. If nothing is making sense, if there's a hole in your soul, if there's a void that you cannot fill, you're unhappy. No matter what you have, you are unhappy. With the most unhappiest feeling. And it's a day after day thing. Unhappiness. All you see is more unhappiness. You don't see the way out. There's no one to talk to you about it. Why is God so silent? Is God dead? Is what people ask. No, God isn't dead. People are dead. People are living so fast in this world, they won't slow down. Even in the face of a pandemic, when they should slow down and think about life, they don't. Because they look at the world, well, the rest of the world's out having fun. The rest of the world's doing this. It's a hoax. 500,000 people plus dead is not a hoax. What does it take for man to finally wake up? What will it take for us to come to the end of our self? Come to the end of ourselves. What will it take for you to come to the end of yourself? To make you think. What will it take for us to come to the end of our selfish ways? You have to look at your own self, not everyone else. You have to look at you. You have to do what's right for you. And not what seems to be, what looks to be right for you. All that glitters is not gold. Just because it looks like everyone else out there is having fun and they're content and this and that, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. All these people on drugs, alcohol, smoking cigarettes, doing this, doing that, everything and anything and everything to get off of this world. From having sex all the time, to eating all the time, to drugging and boozing, smoking cigarettes all the time. And it's a daily thing. And I will tell you the truth now, just as it is with a rich person. You look at it every day, and it gets old. And it gets older. And it gets older, and it's weighing on you. You want to know the truth. You don't know who to ask. You read books that don't have the answers. Some books do, but you're not looking for the right books. You're looking at man-made stuff. Man-made. And then the books that look religious, that may say keys to happiness, are usually written by false prophets. So you get led further and further astray. There's only one thing that will break the chains, that will set you free, that will fill the void. That's the truth of how it all got to be this way. We have to rewind ourselves. That's what we have to do. Instead of traveling in this vehicle that doesn't know where it's going. And when I say vehicle, I'm not talking about our bodies. I'm talking about our minds. Because there is if you look at it, if you think about it, symbolically, there is a vehicle. It has no steering wheel. No steering wheel. And the wheels are going every which way. That means you're not really going forward. You're just going pretty much round in circles. No set destination. Nothing. You're just spinning your wheels, not really getting anywhere. Everyone is running from the truth. You have people pulling on you from this angle, from that angle, from every angle. And what do? Because we're bored, because we don't know what else to do, anything else to do. We allow ourselves to get pulled into this mess, into that mess, into this mess over here, that mess over yonder. No set destination. And day by day, what happens to us? We get older. We listen to the world. We end up lonely, alone, hurt, cheated on, lied to, flim-flammed, hoodwinked. Even people in our own families do us wrong and think nothing of it. The only thing that will save mankind is the truth. The truth that will set all of us free. But we won't see the truth fully. We won't see the light of it, of when it's fully lifted up. No, I take that back. We will see the light of it fully lifted up when we come to ourselves. I started to say we won't see the light of it, no, we won't, until we come to the end of ourselves. But we will see it then. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'm kind of throwing my words together here, but sometimes I've been doing this all day. Sometimes I'm up all night doing these talks and stuff. And this is something I wanted to add to this talk at the end of it, because I want you to not be confused about what I meant when I said there are people who think that they're the chosen ones, and they are confused behind what they see their race, people in their race doing. Killing people, unarmed people, shooting up schools, doing all kinds of lying about discovering this country, lying about all the presidents being white, lying, just running over everybody. That's not the way God wanted this life to be. And he surely did not want and does not want his chosen people to set that kind of example for the rest of the world. To have the rest of the world think that we are a conceited people, better than all other people on the face of the earth. A foolish nation void of understanding would take that verse in the Bible and twist it like a pretzel. Out of all people on the face of the earth, I have chosen you to be a special people unto me. It reads above all people, but it doesn't. There's a comma that separates this. It's one thing that illiterate people just they take stuff and they run with it. I have chosen thee to be a special people unto me, comma, above all people on the face of the earth. It didn't mean I chose you to be above all people on the face of the earth. You see, that wouldn't even make sense because the Bible clearly says that all have fallen short of God's glory. We have all, there's none good, no, not one. So why would God choose a certain race to be above every other race? That's not what it meant. I will go back to the reference, I will reference Abraham again. God saw Abraham. God loved what he saw. How Abraham was a different kind of person, a different heart, somber, a kindred spirit, if you will, a thinking man, a different kind of man. And he chose Abraham. He loved Abraham so much that he chose him and made a covenant with him. And through the years, the Most High has been with his people, even in chastisement of them, because we fell away. But it is time for us to wake up. It is time for us to write the vision and make it plain for all the nations to see so that they will have purpose in this life. Instead of running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off. It's time for the truth to be made manifest in this world. The harvest is great. Many people are yearning, groaning for the truth. They're hungering and thirsting for it. The harvest is great, but the workers are few. The weed-like people are choking out the wheat-like people. And the wheat-like people, because they don't see people reaching out for them to gather them up from the ways of this world with their knowledge, to take them in with their knowledge, to give them something to look forward to, hope, to give them purpose in this life. They tend to follow the world and do things that the world does, and they're unhappy. No matter what they have, they are unhappy. Many have committed suicide, many are committing suicide. And I know that everything I'm telling you is hitting home. Why? Because it's the truth. And I know that some of you will listen to these talks again. They will come back to mind. When the world gets older and older and older, and you see more hopelessness and more hopelessness, you will want to hear the words of the truth again. Because they're undeniable, undisputable. And they have a way of staying in your system, staying on your mind. So don't commit suicide. The truth sometimes is a hard pill to swallow. Just accept it. Just accept it. It is what it is. You don't have to like it, though. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to live by it. You don't have to share it. You can gossip about it. You can hate it. Whatever you want to do, it will not change what it is. And that's the truth. It may drive you crazy. It may drive you into suicide, into committing suicide. But we are not the people who covered up the truth. We are the people who are uncovering the truth, who are exposing the lies with the truth. The lies that truthfully, people in your own race started. So don't commit suicide after hearing this. Just do the right thing. That's it. And with that, I will close this. I want to get this out there. It's very important to me. Very important to me. I love doing this. I love helping people. I love knowing, even though I'm imperfect, that I'm doing the best I can to help the Most High and His cause. This means more to me than anything on this earth, than anyone or anything on this earth. But I care about people. I do. I'm glad the Most High gave me the equipment that He gave me to be able to do what I do. I'm glad He gave me the knowledge, the insight, the understanding, the wisdom that He gave me to do what I am doing. When the Most High gives you something and it's good, use it. Share what you know. Share if you care. You may be saving someone else's life and your own. With that, I will close this talk. That's free, like all the other talks on my Facebook and YouTube pages. Share them. Let other people know about them. If you don't know how to work out your own salvation, which is what the Bible tells us to do it that way. Share what you know, however you can. And there are many different ways to share the truth. Don't be ashamed of the truth if you don't want the Most High to deny you. The world isn't worth it. The denying the truth for the world, no, it's not worth it. If you say that it is, the Most High knows you. You can't hide it from Him. It shows by the way you live, by the choices you make. That's all I have to say. You will give account for how you live. And you can't blame it on anyone else if you are condemned.